headaches due to sinuses. And that hasn't happened since March of this last year, which has been fantastic. But I haven't had his blood work tested, so I don't know if he's actually improved or anything like that. But what's kind of remarkable is that we've been learning about arthritis. And for the last 10 years, I've had arthritis in my knees. And I've had 2 surgeries. One knee really never recovered, so I usually walk with a limp. And I have a road that I walk on. And I used to be able to walk it, no problem. I used to, I did it every day. And then all of a sudden I had to start using walking sticks to walk the road. Matter of fact, my neighbors would make fun out of me because they asked me if I was going skiing because the pain was so intense, but I was determined to continue to walk. Well, in probably August, I started to notice that I wasn't using my walking sticks anymore. And I never put 2 and 2 together, but what's happening is that my knees are feeling so much better that I'm able to walk down the stairs with 2 different legs and alternating rather than 1 leg at a time. And I'm able to take walks on the road without walking sticks. And I'm able to go on small hikes at this point. So I'm really thankful for Immunogen. And there's been little other stories that have happened that have been fantastic too. So my husband's blood work came back and he's like, look at me, I'm so healthy. And not even kind of putting it together that maybe it's the product that's helping him have lower cholesterol and things like that. So that's my story.
Ako si Kenneth taga Tutulan, Dawis, Bohol. Aduna ko Steven Johnson syndrome. Usa kini nga talagsaon nga sakit og napiktuhan ang akong wala nga mata og miabot sa higayon nga ang akong panan-aw nihanap na gyud nga niabot gyud sa punto nga sa usa ka tawo nga tuwa sa layo duha nya miabot pa gyud ang panahon nga naapektuhan ang akong tuo nga mata. Apan miabot sa anang higayon na nga adunay nag-introduce sa akong pamilya sa Immunogen ug sa walay pagduha-duha ni desisyon kami sa akong pamilya nga moinom sa Immunogen. So I take 1 capsule to 3 times a day Immunogen capsule og 1 tablespoon 2 times a day Immunogen liquid. 30 minutes sa pagpa-check up namo ug balik sa doktor. Nakita sa laboratory nga naalim ang samad. Daghan salamat Sir Leon ug Ma'am Susan sa Immunogen ug sa Ginoo.
Hello, my name is Michael Martin, and I'd like to tell you about a product that I started on 3 weeks ago. First, let me tell you that up until I was 70 years old, I was in perfect health. Then I came down with cancer. I was able to use some nutritional products and overcome it, but 2 years later, I came down with cancer again. This time I had to do chemo. I also had a problem with my kidney. My kidney was at stage 5 kidney failure, which means I had to go for dialysis. Again, I was able to overcome that, so I didn't do dialysis, and I got my kidney up to about 30%. But in the process of the cancer and the kidney failure, I lost 65 pounds. I was down to 113 pounds, and I'm 6'1". I was a candidate for a fill-in at a Holocaust movie. I didn't look very good. I had no strength. I lost all my muscles. I had to do a walker. I wasn't in very good shape. I also had to go on a catheter because using a walker and no strength in your legs, it was difficult for me to get up every hour and a half to urinate. So I wound up producing about 2,000 cc's of urine every night. November 17th, I was introduced into this product. On November 19th, I started taking it. After 1 week, the volume of my urine in the bag reduced to 1,000 centimeters. A couple days later, it was 800, and then it was 700, and by the end of the second week, I was off the catheter and able to just urinate, get up once a night, which I can live with. The other thing was, because I lost all of the muscle, my strength was just very low. And I could only work and concentrate for a couple hours each day. Once I went on the product, my energy levels have increased. I now am working 12, 14, sometimes 16 hours a day without any problem. Yesterday I went up and down my stairs at the house 10 times with no problem. The energy I'm feeling, the strength in my legs are tremendous. All I can say is in 3 weeks, this is a miracle. Your body is in fact a miracle. If you give it the right nutritional products, it can do wondrous things. I strongly encourage you to get with the person that sent you to this and take a look at our incredible product. Forever Healthy Products out of the Philippines. The name of the product is Immunogen. Please take your time and give us a real serious look. Thank you for your time.
Last December 2017, parang naramdaman ko habang nagda-drive ako, yung parang sumakit dito na na side. Akala ko heart attack ako kasi na-heart attack ako last December 2015. Pagkatapos I decided to go to see my OB-GYN. Tapos sabi niya kung okay lang daw na pa-mammogram ako. Kasi kinapa niya wala namang bukol pero may pain. After ng mammogram, to nakita na mayroon akong maliit na bukol. Kinonfirm pa yun sa ultrasound hanggang sa nakita nila na kumalat na sa lymph nodes ko. Masyado po akong na-depress. Kasi wala po akong wala akong kasama magpagtulog. Hindi ko po alam kung anong gagawin ko. Yan, depressed po ako. In the middle of the night, nagigising po ako. Hindi ko po alam kung makaka-survive ako kahit na may medication naman. Sabi ko lang, bigyan niya ako ng time na mabuhay. Yun lang. Kasi po, ang dami ko pang gustong gawin na late na dapat nagawa ko noon, hindi ko pa nagawa. Na-schedule po yung pag-opera. Tapos after nung sabi na stage 3 nga, sabi ng doktor ko magpa-chemo. Actually 8 cycles po ako. Pero at the end of my 5th cycle, nag-internal bleeding po ako. So last May 28, naging critical po kasi hindi ko alam na 10 bags na pala yung nawala sa akin. Last 2 chemo ko, masyado pong malakas yung gamot na niya yung stomach ko. So yung hemoglobin ko naging 5. It was the doctor who stopped the chemo. Nang diagnose po ako, yun, nag-start ako na uminom ng Immunogen. Yung every meal, yun ang iniinom ko. Hanggang po, sa ngayon, hindi ko po tinigilan yun. Sa ospital, naging 60-40 na po yung blood ko. Sabi ng doktor, kailangan ka na kasi 10 bags na yung nawala sa iyo. Sabi ko, hindi ako magpapa-blood transfuse. Sabi niya, mamamatay ka. Yung cardiologist ko po, ayaw kong iwanan. Sabi niya, because you had a heart attack, walang ibang mangyayari kundi ma-heart attack ka talaga, sabi niya. Sabi ko, kahit na magsasign ako ng waiver. Yung masasabi ko lang po sa may mga cancer na katulad ko, maging positive lang sila at saka wag silang bumitaw sa Diyos. Kasi yung may-ari ng buhay natin, maraming ng food supplement ngayon, but piliin na ng tama na pwede makatulong talaga sa kanila.
Pinasitiskan po namin si Jores. Pagbalik po namin, yun nga daw sinabi ni Dr. Robles na severe autism po si Jores. May maintenance po siya, pero yung maintenance, pag nawala po yung gamot sa katawan niya, nagiging mas lalo po siyang malakas. At saka pag binibigyan po siya ng pangpatulog, hindi po siya natutulog. Nung lalabas siya dyan, ma'am, nakahubad. Tapos bigla lang niya itatapon yung katawan niya. Yung talagang naglalagabog. 15 years old siya, nung umpisa na po siyang nangungurot. Minsan nananampal. Nung 2015 po talaga, nung nag-maintenance na siya, doon po talaga yung worst. Kinakagat niya po ako sa kamay, hinihila niya po yung ulo ko, pati lahat po kami dito sa bahay, sinasaktan niya na kami.
Minsan pag lumabas kami ng bahay, lahat ng masalubong niya, sinasampal niya, sinusuntok niya.
Nag-ikot kami sa ukay-ukay. May isang babae na ganon siya ni Jores. Nagalit siya, sobra. Sinigawan niya si Jores, sabi niya ganon. Ano ka bang bata ka? Sabi niya ganon. Bakit ganyan ka? Lumapit po ako. Ma'am, sorry po. Kasi yung anak ko po, special child po siya. Tapos sabi niya, sinigawan niya ako. Wala akong pakialam kung special child yung anak mo. Dapat yan, nasa bahay lang. Kung kayo po ay nagiging isang ina, sabi ko sa kanya, at mayroon po kayong anak na katulad ng anak ko, maramdaman niyo po siguro kung ano po kasakit yung ginaganyan yung anak.
Bakit? Bakit itong pangalawa meron na naman?
Si Cedric, lagi po akong umiiyak sa kanya. Dahil po, tinatanong niya po ako kung bakit po daw sila nagkaganon. Ayoko yung buhay na ganito. Gusto kong maging normal. Gusto kong mag-aral. Hindi ko pa pinapakita sa anak ko. Umiiyak po ako ng patagot. Pero nitong 2015 17 na nag-inom na siya ng Immuregene, 3 nights namin na natulog siya diretso. So nakatulog din kami, parang abot langit na nakatulog ka, ma'am, ng diretso na umaga ka na nagising na Sabi ko, ano ba yun? Bakit ganon? Sabi ni papa niya, baka reaction ng food supplement. Kasi first time namin sa ginamitan ng food supplement eh. So wala nang tantrums that time. Sabi ng kapatid, mama, si kuya hindi na mainit yung ulo niya. Lagi na siya nakangiti, tapos nagtatrabaho, nagwawalis-walis, nagliligpit na siya. Si Joris na sumisigaw ng wash. So napapahugas siya. Tapos ko siya hugasan, sabi niya, thank you. Yung kaligayahan na yun, kahit sa ganun lang, ma'am, masaya ka, di ba?
Ang paghihirap ng isang parents na may anak na may autism, napakahirap. Alam ko na sobra din, naramdaman din ng ibang mga parents na may mga anak na ganito. Hindi tayo mag-give up. Ang mga bata, walang kasalanan eh.
Dito, I love you, kuya.
Hi, good morning po sa lahat. We would like to share our observation to my son when he started using Immuregene liquid. Actually po dati, medyo super late talaga siya matulog. Tapos medyo hyper talaga siya, yung behavior niya unpredictable. Tapos, especially if nababago yung routine niya. Then, someone introduced Immuregene liquid to us. Then, we attended webinars. Tapos, nag-avail kami sa first time namin bumili. We're using it almost 15 days today. So, ang observation namin is, when he started using it, maaga na siya natutulog. So, latest is 11 o'clock, which is compared dati. Minsan natutulog siya 5 a.m., 4, 3. So, I'm working night shift, so minsan kasabay ko pa siya. So, ayun, we hope for better better result for Emurigen, and we're praying na magbe-behave na talaga siya for with this, through this Emurigen later. Thank you.
Okay, so we're rolling. Today is what date?
October 20.
Okay, today is October 28th. So may we get your name, madam?
Yes, my name is Sofia Tialdo, and this is my son Manuel.
Okay, so why are you here today?
Well, I wanted to be a testimony that I gave my son the product, Imurigen, the syrup, for 14 days, and I saw a big improvement on his behavior.
Okay, so may we know the medical case of your son?
Down syndrome, autism,
And how old is he?
12.
12. So what observations did you notice?
I noticed he was calmer, but present, alert but present. And he was no mischievous. He was, following directions, and he was just a different boy. A different boy. I mean, I've never seen that before. And the effects started happening after the 5th day.
On the 5th day?
On the 5th day.
And you were just taking the liquid that time?
The liquid.
Okay, the liquid.
3 times a day, and he was taking the folic minerals at night.
Together with the fulvic minerals?
Fulvic minerals at night.
Okay, so that was on the 5th day you started noticing that the behavior was different?
Yes.
Okay, so
But then I ran out of the product, and it kind of went back to what a little bit better, but it went back to how he was acting, behaving, and then now I ordered the product again, but I want to do now 3 times a day for 3 months without stopping.
Okay.
To see the full benefits.
So you did mention the first time you ran out of products. How many days was this?
That he has not been on the product?
Yeah.
A week.
When you're for the week.
A week.
So first you started using it 15 days?
Yeah, 14 days.
Or 14 days, and then on the 5th you noticed that there were some changes. Unfortunately, you ran out of product.
Yes.
And in just a matter of a week running out of products, you noticed that slowly he was getting back to...
Yeah. I mean, not as much as before, but I think that it has to be continuous.
Okay, and that's the reason why you bought again.
Yeah, and I'm going to do the 3 months without stopping.
Okay, you ran out of products because you were in Mexico, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. So how did you get to know about this product, by the way?
Through a friend of mine that I mentioned to her that I wanted to give my child something natural, not medication, because usually in schools, if they have a behavioral problem, they make you, have the child take medication. So I didn't want to go into that route. I wanted something natural. And she told me about it, and then contacted with the guy that told me, Manny, in San Francisco, and we, I ordered it and we started using the product.
Okay. So for closing, would you like to say anything to the people who might be seeing this video?
I would say to try it. To try it because I've never seen anything like this in the market. I mean, I don't know if there's something similar to it, but I haven't seen it. And that you actually see it working. So if a parent wants a natural therapy for their child, this is it.
And last question, and what were the other medicine or supplements was he taking before you
I never
discovered
gave
this?
him the regular prescriptions because I would see it in other children that it makes them fall asleep. I mean, they're medicated.
Mhm.
So how can you take a child to school medicated? You cannot. I'm sorry, but that was not an option for me. So I want my child, you know, alert to be able to learn. So I never tried the other ones, but I saw it on other parents, how the medicine acted on their children, and I said, I don't want that for my child. So I know this is perfect for him. And it's amazing because he takes it so naturally, because it's a little bit bitter, but even though it's bitter, he will go, thumbs up, Mom, this is a product for you. And he would take it, no problem. So I was amazed about that. So he knows inside him it's good for him. And I know it's good for him. So I would definitely recommend it for other parents.
Okay. And lastly, why do you want this to be recorded?
Pretty much to share my experience, to see how he is now, and how he's going to be in after a month on this, and after 3 months. I want the camera to capture it.
So you will see a before and after.
Exactly.
Okay, so everything will be recorded. Okay, so I think that's about it. Thank you very much for your time.
Bye-bye, puppy.
You say bye-bye? Okay. God bless, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nung una po, naiiyak ako. Kasi sabi ko, hindi mo pa kinuha. Hindi mo pa ako pinabayaan na disable, yung may tukod. Pinalakad mo pa ako. Yun po yung nasa isip ko. Mahilig akong magtanim. Naglinis po ako ng surroundings namin, yung bagong tinira namin. So doon po nagsimula yung aking sugat. Una po nagtubig siya, parang may kumagat lang. May kumagat lang siya, tapos nagtubig. Habang nililinis ko po siya, dumadating po yung araw na pumuputok siya. Para siyang mga insektong maliliit na lang po siya, na pag tumusok, na po siya, makati. So doon na po nag-start. Nagbalat na siya, tapos habang nagbabalat siya, lumalaki, nabubulok yung sides ng mga sugat. So nakikita ko, sabi ko parang diabetic na yata ako. Wala nang pag-asang gumaling. So nagpatingin ako dun sa isang kaibigan ko na nurse. Sabi niya sa akin, pumasok ka na sa doktor, palinis muna. Sabi ko, ayoko. Kasi pag pumasok ako ng ospital, magbabayad na ako, baka sabihin putulin na pa ako. Kasi may itim na po yung gilid.
Mataas po talaga yung reading ng kanyang sugar. Hindi lang nakita sa ihi, nakita rin sa dugo. And yung pancreatic report niya, hindi na rin po maganda. Nung nakita ko po na nagtubig na yung sugat niya, and then nilalagnat po siya, yun ang kinakatakutan ko. Pag may lagnat ang isang tao na may open wounds, ang kalaban po yung sepsis na tinatawag, infection. Doon na po ako nag-start na hinihikayat ko siya kahit makarating man lang kami sa hospital para kung virus nga yung tumira sa kanya, malaman kung anong klase. Hindi ko siya kakupay inumin ng gamot kasi kahit paracetamol, namamaga po siya. May allergy siya. Kaya lang ayaw niya talaga. Ang lagi niyang sinasabi sa akin, pag ako dinala mo sa ospital, ikaw na rin ang pumatay sa akin.
Doon po ako natatakot. Ang sakit na nararamdaman ko po yung para siyang tinutusok na mapuputol na yung buto, yung buong paa ko, ganun po. Kaya halos kumapit ako sa yung ng bed, yung pinakabakal po sa bed. Kumakapit po ako doon. Medyo namamaga-maga na nga po nung bandang huli. Laging nakatutok na lang po ako kay Lord na kung mapuputol, bilisan mo, wag mo akong pahirapan. Yun lang po sinasabi ko. Tsaka kung hindi mo siya puputulin, may purpose ka pa sa akin.
It's so painful. Pero sa sarili kong pamilya, parang failure po ako. Kasi ayaw nilang tumunod. Nung una, hindi ko pa siya ginamitan nitong Umurogen. So, sabi ko, wala naman mawawala kasi gusto mo na rin naman mamatay. Ayaw mo naman magpa-ospital.
Actually, it was referred to me by a friend, a 68 years old man, about the beauty of the product. But on the first place, I was so hesitant. Sabi ko, ayaw ko, pare-pareho lang naman yan. Lahat na lang kako sa inyo maganda. So parang dalang-dala na kasi ako, parang wala na po akong pag-asa. After mga 10 days po, sabi ko, bakit parang hindi naman kako tumatalab? So sa maliwala po kayo't hindi, isang takip lang po ng ating liquid. Ang tingin ko sa liquid natin, para po bang may isip. Pagpatak ko dito sa point na nasa taas ng paa niya, imbes na dumiretso lang siyang ganyan, kitang-kita ko po na parang nag-spread siya, nag-circle siyang ganun, kinain niya po yung lahat. Na-distribute po siya. I don't know kung sa style lang po ng pagpatak ko yun o talagang yung liquid talaga ang nagtrabaho. And after na binigyan ko siya ng liquid, hindi ko na po nilinisan. Hindi na po ako naglanggas, hindi na ako nagugupit nung balat niya. Kasi pag hindi nagdugo, dinidibri ko po yun. Pag hindi siya nagdugo, bulok ang paa, wala po akong choice. Kailangan i-amputate yan. Sumisigaw siya on the first night kasi para daw may plastic na nakapulupot na ginaganon yung paa niya. And then ang napansin ko, yung lahat ng nana sabay-sabay na pumuputok. After I have put 5 ml of liquid doon sa kanyang open wounds. We could make money as our credit pero ang buhay, iisa lang po.
Alam niya po yon na mahal ko siya. Kahit na ano ang mangyari sa amin, hindi ko pa rin po siya napapabayaan.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, I would like to share to you my personal testimony about my stroke. That was almost 3 years ago. That was my birthday, March 22 in 2018. So I have experienced this strange feeling associated with anxiety or fear that awakened my body and my soul that I could never forget in the rest of my life. Because it was off time from work, and I felt the left part of my body is trembling, is shaking. So I helped to check my blood pressure that is high. So my colleagues told me that manifested redness in my face. So I stayed there for almost a rest there. So I have to go back from my office to my home. So to make it the story short, so during that time I continued my my recuperation with my support wife and advocate Imurigen. This one. Actually, I'm bringing all these things here. I have here. Yeah. I'm taking all these things until today because it helps me a lot. The Glocken, everything. You see? So, especially the liquid. Before I had the shoulder frozen. I cannot do that. But today, you look at me. Thanks God. Before I cannot do that. It's just this way but today I can move. Thank you, Mary Jane.
Thank you for trusting us. Thank you, doctor. Thank you for trusting us.
Because
I'm so happy.
Before I can move my shoulders, but today, look at, see, so I can talk. Before I cannot talk, but today I can go to talk.
You can
So
sing.
thank you so
I know
much.
that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. I usually cried a lot because I know God's purpose of this. That's why my life is nothing without Him origin. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doc.
It took me. It's just my stroke is only week time, but I can talk already. But before, it's just week time. I have forgotten everything. I cannot talk, but using this the liquid and the glucon and everything. So it regained my speech and everything. But before, so I thought I will die. But thank you so much. That's why I usually cried a lot because of this. Every day, I have to bring, especially the liquid. I have to bring this in my bag. I have to drink every time, 3 times a day, it's just a protection or to develop more, to regain my health. So thank you. That's why I usually taking immunity every day. I have a lot of this, the Glocan, this one every day. So there are no side effects, I guess, because 1 or 3 times a day of this. Yeah. That's why I'm telling my friends that I want you to trust the faith of Imurigen. Look at me. I told them, look at me. That before, after my stroke, I cannot talk. But today I can sing already. That's why thank you so much, Imurigen.
Hello, everyone. Okay, I had the major accident. I had multiple fractures. I broke my T9, T6, L11, and my S5 on January 12, 2019. It was painful, of course. I thought I'm going to die. I refused to take pain medications. So that happened in January 2019. So I suffered for 6 months. I was in pain. I was looking for answers. What could I take? What's the natural best medicine that I can take without doctors, synthetic drugs? So I waited. It took me like at least 6 months until like one day I went to a friend and met someone named Tom, and he told me that what happened to you, Jack? I said, oh, I had multiple fractures and I'm looking for like natural medicines. I wouldn't take any drugs or pain medications. And she said, and I'm scheduled for surgery on like September, and that was July. They were going to like fuse my spine, my bones, my T9 and my T6. But I said, Urigen first before you do the surgery. And then I said, no, because I wouldn't believe that there's like a supplement like Imurigen that would like fuse the bone. He told me that, Jack, trust me, it will fuse your bone. So I was skeptical, and I ignored Tom for like 12 days. He kept calling me like every day, Jack. And then one day he told me, how about I'm giving you like 1 bottle free. And then when he said to try, because at the time it was like, to me, it's like supplement for like $110 and it will fuse my bone. So as soon as Tom told me to try the Imurigen for free, I took it, and he told me to take like two scoops, which I did. So that was 20. And then in the midnight of July 20, I started like bleeding, fresh blood. Because for 6 months, I didn't have period. Right after my accident to July, I didn't have period, no menstrual cycle. So I was afraid, oh, what is this? Why am I bleeding in the middle of the night? And then I realized probably my sister, who's a nurse in Santa Rosa, she said that, oh, then it's good. She said if you're having like if you're bleeding, maybe that's menstruation already. So no, so I didn't panic. And then the next day, I didn't feel it yet. I keep taking the liquid for, I think I probably finished that liquid for like 3 days. 3 days. And on the third day, I started noticing something, because usually when I get up, I would need my son to hold my hands and hold my back to help me get up from the bed. There's no way I would get up without somebody's help. So it was like first time that I tried sitting. I started sitting. Oh my God, how come I don't feel anything? There's no pain. It's just like sore. And then I tried to like sit up. Oh my God, there's no pain. Tom told me to call him right away as soon as I feel anything, any difference. But I did not tell that to Tom. I did call him. And then I called my friends, the guy, my friends who ride dirt bikes and who saw me broke my bones at the hills. I told them, guys, I think I can start riding again. Hello, you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I told them,
we
guys,
hear your crazy story.
I think, yeah. So I called them right away. Early in the morning. I called the friend who's in the Philippines. Gayam, I think we can start riding again. That was the first thing that came into my mind. And then he told me, yeah, why don't you keep taking it? But I think I'm running out, because the guy who gave me the free bottle is running out. So on the fourth day, oh my God, I'm feeling like I feel like I'm a robot. Like no pain. It's just like sore. It's totally from 50%. The pain is like just disappeared like that, 50%. And then I called Tom. I told Tom, do you have any more like products? And then he told me, oh yeah, Jack, how do you feel? Yeah, I'm okay. I'm fine. I think it works a little bit. I told him a little bit, but I became like anxious. I wanted the product so bad that I called Tom. I told him, Tom, maybe you have any more products? Sure, Jack. I'm give you more free products if you come with me on the 27th. Which I went to, is that the Union City? There was like a meeting, big like meeting at Union City where I met Dr. Ockler there. So he told me to go there and he will give me like more free bottle. He will give me one more free bottle. The day before, I called my surgeon, the guy who, the surgeon who's going to do the surgery to fuse my bone. So I called him, invited him if he could go with me, and then meet some guys who introduced this product. And yeah, he came with he told me, oh no, you cannot, I can't go with you. He told me he can go with me. So he told me, maybe next time I can go with you. So yeah, he did. And then I went to see Tom, and then got like more products. I told myself, okay, I don't want free products. I want a big bunch of products. So I bought like a 1,200 worth of products right away, because I was dying to like take it. And then as soon as Tom gave me the free product, I told him, Tom, I need more like product, because the product will take about, I think, a week or two to arrive. So Tom gave me like a set of product. I promised Tom that I will give him back as soon as I receive the product. So I took that. Oh my God, that was July 27. From July 27, I kept taking like massive dose. It was almost like a food to me. That's all I was like eating. July 13th to Stanford because they called me that I need to I missed my two weeks appointment for like therapy. They were going to do therapy first before doing the surgery. Like they gave me 8 weeks of therapy before they're going to go with the surgery. If therapy doesn't work, then they're gonna go with the surgery by September. Then by I think around the middle of August, I went to Stanford to have the therapy, my scheduled therapy, physical therapy. As soon as I sat on the table, I did push up on the table, and then they were shocked. Oh, wait, don't do that. You're broken. My therapist told me I'm still broken. You can't do that. So, no, I am. I could do it. Look. And then I showed no sign of like pain or fractures. And I did sit-ups, and then I went down the floor, and then I did like some push-ups. Then they were all shocked. They were all shocked because I have no pain. I don't know why. I had no pain or even like sore. I felt like I'm like a robot. So the therapist told me, hey guys, because there were two of them. Guys, come on, guys. Do you remember this girl? They started like coming. She was all broken like 2 weeks ago. No, they said 3 weeks ago. She was broken 3 weeks ago, remember? Yeah, look what she's doing. And then they tried to stop me from, I was showing everything. Bending, all kinds of stuff. So let me what are you taking, Janice? They said, oh, I'm taking this. So I showed them the products. Because I had all the supplements in my backpack, so I showed all the package. I think I got the elite package, whatever. And then I showed them, oh, here. Oh no, that supplement is coming from a third, like from a poor country. Yeah, that's the exact word. There's no way it can heal you or like get you better. So can we take a picture of that if you don't mind? So they took a lot of pictures of those products, and they said that they're going to send it to my surgeon, to my doctor. So after like a week, I got a call. They said that, oh, you have to come again, and we need to check you out before we can discharge you, because last time you didn't show any signs of broken bones. So your surgeon advised us to come back and check your, do one more like therapy before we can actually like discharge you. Cannot discharge you yet. So they did again. They came. I went after like a week, and I was fine. I was not in pain. I showed them. I did all kinds. Before they discharge, of course, just imagine what kind of exercises they're going to let you do. I did all kinds of stuff. And then they finally discharged me on around September. So not even like 4 weeks. I still wanted to see them. I want to see my surgeon, but I never got the chance to see my surgeon. I don't know. I don't know. I really wanted to see him, but they said there's no point of seeing him because you got better. You're going to be like discharged. But one last more meeting. I really want to see him. I really want to talk to him. So finally, they said okay. They gave like a schedule to meet with him, and I told him what happened. I got better with this product, and he was still skeptical. No, I don't think you got better with the products. He kept saying that. And that's it.
A new normal in wellness. Boost your immune system at the DNA level with dietary nucleotides, 118 oligopeptides, 17 amino acids, beta-glucan 1,3 and 1,6, minerals, vitamin C, and zinc. Introducing the best-kept secret of wellness. It is beyond the cell. Penetrates the nucleus of the cell. Immurogen. Try it to feel the difference. Now available only from Forever Healthy LLC, exclusive global distributor. Immurogen. Dietary nucleotides. We value life at the DNA level. www.foreverhealthyproducts.com.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to in today's doctor's webinar call. I would like to welcome all the first-timers here. I am Francis. I will be your host for today, and I will be with Dr. Mario Ramirez. Okay, so let me just pull up my PowerPoint. Okay. So today we'll be sharing to you a product called Immurogen, and Dr. Mario would be explaining to us what's the product all about. Okay. So let me first introduce to you Dr. Mario. Dr. Mario is an orthopedic surgeon at the Philippine Orthopedic Center. He finished top of the class at the University of the Philippines. With us, he heads the dengue and dietary nucleotide study. He also heads the clinical dietary nucleotide in children with neurodevelopmental disorders and autism. He's a member of the International Society for Nutrigenomic Nutrigenetics. He's also a member of the World Society of Anti-Aging Medicine. And just recently, he became also a member of the Institute of Functional Medicine. Doc Mario, can we test your mic, please?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Just forgive me if I drop in and out because I am at the hospital right now. I'm a patient, so sometimes I cannot talk or sometimes, but I'll still be online. And just sometimes I will be with patients. So please do have patience with me because I am patients. No, patience with patients. Thank you so much and welcome, everyone.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mario. I believe Dr. Arlie is out of town at the moment, so he might not be able to join us today, Doc Mario.
All right. Okay.
Okay, so let me just read our disclaimer. This presentation is for educational purpose alone, and there's no attempt to diagnose, treat, prevent diseases, or cure. Health statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. Okay, so before we begin, let's watch this short video.
Hello, listen to the most exciting news of the 21st century. In this age, the biggest challenges to human wellness are the diseases of civilization. This breaking news is just what you want to hear. Every person, young or old, is concerned about having energy and a healthy immune system to enjoy life and prevent diseases. Yes, what is life without the energy to enjoy it? And we all know that prevention is better than the best cure. This breaking news is very timely and, should I say, much awaited. Tonight we will be unveiling the best kept secrets of wellness and healthy living encoded in your DNA. First, let us share some information to enlighten you on the basics of DNA. DNA, the molecule of life, is responsible for carrying all the information an organism needs to survive, grow and reproduce. It is stored in the nuclei of cells, where it is packaged into thread-like helix structures called chromosomes, and these molecules are made up of subunits called nucleotides. There are 4 different nucleotides in DNA called guanine, cytosine, adenine and thymine. All life on Earth is built from 4 different types of molecules, which are proteins, carbohydrates, lipids and nucleic acids. Without these 4 molecules, a cell or organism would not be able to live. These are referred to as the molecules of life. Medical science has led us to believe for several decades that our inherited genes are our biological destiny, such that you have no way to escape certain diseases like diabetes, cancer or heart disease. But thanks to the growing body of knowledge and revelations from genetic research, we understand today that our genetic composition is not necessarily your inevitable destiny. This implies that while you might carry the genetic mutation that increases your risk of heart disease and other hereditary diseases, it is not your absolute destiny to develop any of them. Unfortunately, genetic makeup, aging, lifestyle, environment and stress all compromises your DNA wellness. Did you know that about 300 million cells die every minute in our bodies? And every cell has a different job in our body. The breaking news is that Immurogen, the best kept secret of Europe's wellness, is now available in the US, exclusively distributed around the world by Forever Healthy Products LLC. It contains dietary nucleotides, 118 oligopeptides, peptides, 17 amino acids and minerals. These are just what your body needs to give it the right ingredients to do its job. Giving your body the material it needs to be able to regenerate, repair and build immunity by itself is vital. The great news is you can protect your DNA for better health and wellness. Thus, it could be said that good health starts and ends at the DNA level. And that healthy DNA means a healthy you. So take charge now. Visit www.humandnawellness.com for more information.
Okay, guys, so today's topic will focus more on our DNA, and our doctors will be educating us on this. Okay, so I just saw Dr. Arlie joined us. Arlie. Doc Arlie, can we test your mic, please? Good afternoon,
Yes,
Doc Arlie.
good day, everyone, especially with our friends from Singapore. This is your friend, Dr. Arlie Imperio. Francis?
Okay, so you're coming in loud and clear. I guess your internet is good, Doc Arlie. Okay, so let's start with the company. Okay, the name of the company is Forever Healthy LLC. We are the exclusive distributor of Immurogen products globally. And we started soft launching it in 2016 here in Manila, Philippines. In 2018, we started our Asia expansion. In 2019, we opened our headquarters in the US. And in this year, 2021, we just opened our Singapore office. And anytime, maybe before the end years, the year ends, we'll be opening the European market. And currently, we are also registered. Our company is registered in Indonesia. And for the products, we are undergoing the registration process in Indonesia. So in the USA, we are located in Las Vegas, Nevada. In the Philippines, we have 2 offices. We have one in Manila that's located in Galleria Corporate Center, that is in EDSA Shrine. Then we have in our office in Cebu, which is located in the Cherry Court building along General Maxilom Avenue, Cebu City. And in Singapore, we have our office in Atrix building in Geylang. Now, the Forever Healthy is a product of an inspiration to create a home that will enhance life, an opportunity for livelihood for men, and a legacy that will create a paradigm shift in the wellness industry. The founders, we have first Dr. Susan Barlin. He is our CEO. Dr. Susan Barlin is a seasoned global entrepreneur, life coach, and success guru. In fact, she's an executive director of John Maxwell team. She is an international resource speaker and a catalyst. Known to many as a catalyst, a visionary and servant leader, Dr. Susan Barlin is the pillar and the fire of Forever Healthy LLC. Together with Dr. Susan Barlin, we have our president, Sir Leon Katz. Sir Leon Katz is an international businessman. To him, success has a high price and does not come easy. Leon says, like Susan, he is determined and committed to the purpose of Forever Healthy LLC, which is all about spreading the value of wellness and bringing forth an opportunity for humanity. A driven, out-of-the-box, hands-on, hardworking, strong-willed, but compassionate person, Leon Katz has decades of successful ventures in various industries. He had many startup ventures that turned into multi-million-dollar companies. The product is not good. It's incredible. Dr. Arlie, would you like to add more? Dr. Arlie? Dr. Arlie?
Yes, Francis, and for the benefit of everyone, when we would like to, let's say, check an opportunity, the first item that we would consider is the company itself. Is it a legitimate company? Is it duly registered? And Francis have shown the specific offices here in the Philippines, in Cebu and in Ortigas, Quezon City. And he also showed that we have an office in Las Vegas, USA. And the company has the ability to deliver for Forever Healthy products door to door throughout the Philippines, throughout Singapore, and Singapore, by the way, we have an office in Singapore, and throughout the entire 52 states of America. So this already establishes the legitimacy of the company. And as what Francis have said, the company's name is Forever Healthy LLC, and she has products that is designed to exactly do that. And if I may add, why the name Forever Healthy, and probably you can take note of this. First question is, I would usually ask my patients, what do you want, health or sickness? And the answer obviously is health. And then the next question is, when would you like to be healthy, now or later? Of course, the answer is now. And how long would you like to be more healthy? For now alone, or as long as possible, if I may say forever? And the answer is generally as much as possible, forever. So that's the name of our company, Forever Healthy Products. And then the next important point is that the leading founders, the visionary leaders, which is led by our president, Leon Katz, and our Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Susan Barlin, PhD. And they are seasoned, let's say, corporate business people. And they had committed themselves now to do something special for everyone and for the world. And that is to bring good health and an opportunity for all, and to leave this behind as a legacy. And it has been let's say, focused on 3 keywords. The first keyword is life. That's the goal, life. And that is Forever Healthy Products. The second is livelihood. That's the opportunity portion, because one has to be healthy, but we now realize one has to be wealthy or wealthier at the same time. And then eventually we know that we would move on, and we have a legacy program where what we have attained, with Forever Healthy products can be passed on to the next generation, to our children specifically, and to their children's children and generations to come. So that's the legacy aspect. So, my dear friends, if you like that idea, where we are more healthy and we are more wealthy and we make this world a better place as we pass on through the legacy program, then come in and join us with this noble mission. Francis? And to augment the goals of Forever Healthy LLC, we have the medical team. Because when we talk on health, obviously the most important person is the doctor. We usually don't want to visit the doctor's clinic, but when we get sick, we don't have a choice but to go to the doctor. And we have a medical team, and it is being led by three personalities. Number one is Dr. Jose Oclarit. He has 2 or 3 PhDs. Doctor on physiology, doctor on molecular biology, and doctor on biochemistry. And currently, he is a medical professor in the College of Medicine here in the Philippines in one of the leading universities located in Cebu, Asnar Medical Foundation. And recently, this year, he was nominated as a nominee in Nobel Prize for Chemistry. He is one of the nominees. And so that gives us a main idea on Dr. Jose Oclarit. And then we have Dr. Mario Ramirez, who is an orthopedic surgeon. And he is one of the leading orthopedic surgeons here in the Philippines. And he is now focused on prevention. And both of us are members of the Institute of Functional Medicine. And then yours truly, Dr. Arlie Imperio. I'm now a retired physician, but I was practicing family medicine, public health, and traditional Chinese medicine. I had training from doctors in Beijing, China. And in the Philippines, I'm a member of the KBP, Kapisanan ng mga Broadcasters ng Pilipinas. It is an association of radio, TV, let's say, personalities here in the Philippines. Francis?
Okay. Dr. Arlie? Dr. Arlie?
Yeah, maybe I can pitch in while Dr. Arlie's and when I'm free. Right now, the evolution of food supplement is that in the 1912s, we have the development of vitamins. And from there, in the 1930s, because of the higher incidence of scurvy, particularly in the sea surfers, the seafarers, Linus Perry had actually developed and researched on vitamin C to address this problem. In the 1980s, here comes the development of herbals. We have herbal supplements that comes in the forms of capsules and even coffee. Then in the early 2000s, we have the development or the influx of antioxidants like lycopene and other antioxidants. And in 2003, it developed into a cell-based supplement. But in 2016, we went deeper into the deeper inside of the cell at the molecular level, called the nucleotides. The nucleotides, as you will see later, are the molecules that makes up your DNA. Their DNA are the ones responsible for making a cell. All right. So with this development, you can see the progression of how food supplements had developed and had improved through technology. And to give you an understanding is that the nucleotides that we have in Imurgen takes 90 days to develop. So it takes a lot of research, a lot of technology to make it. And make it even better. Next slide, Francis. All right, so we go on the basic. This is what we call our one-page presentation, which explains our product and the compositions of the product. The ingredients of the product are made out of DNA. And from your body, you know, we are made out of different organs that are made out of specific tissues. So for the brain, you have brain tissues. For the liver, you have liver tissues. For the kidney, you have kidney tissues. And these tissues are made out of different cells. The cells are also specific. So the brain cells for the brain tissue for the brain, the kidney cells for the kidney tissue for the kidney, and so on and so forth. And inside most of the medicines and supplements before are actually based on the cell. So how do we prevent damages to the cell? And this is particularly the research was done and addressed to how we stop the cell from being damaged. But recent development says that from this specific slide that you can see, that inside of the cell there are more important functions. There are more important organelles, and one of those organelles is inside of the nucleus, and that nucleus contains 46 chromosomes, 23 from the mother, 23 from your father. And if we get one chromosome and stretch it, we have what we call the DNA, the deoxyribonucleic acid. It is the molecule that contains our genetic codes on how our genes are formed, how you are made. So from one genetic code, for example, you can make another Francis Pira. Then from that genetic code in your DNA, we have different letters called the nucleotides. And these letters are the guanine, cytosine, thymine, and adenine. And these nucleotides are the ingredients of our product Immurogen. These are the composition of our product Immurogen. So the DNA is in each cells of the organisms, tells the cells which protein to make or which cell to make, or whatever is the important thing that the cell has to manufacture. It is the DNA that controls everything. So it's the control, it's the president. It is the one responsible for functioning and making new cells and new proteins in the body. Next slide, Francis. So the DNA is called the molecule of life because it contains 46, like I was telling you earlier, it contains 46 chromosomes. And from that 46 chromosomes, one DNA is about 2 meters. It contains 3 billion DNA subunits called the nucleotides. So you need 3 billion nucleotides to make one DNA. And to make one cell, I mean, there are 80,000 gene codes to make proteins that functions for different aspects of life, right? So again, you can see from the molecule of life, from DNA, you have the, we will talk about that. We have the genetic information is passed down to make proteins, which are the functional unit of the body. So again, the DNA is the blueprint of our life because it contains the instructions needed for an organism to grow, develop, survive, and reproduce. So our product supports what we call the dogma of life. So let me talk about the dogma of life. The dogma of life is this one. All right, from your DNA, it undergoes transcription. All right, then from the inside of the DNA, there's transcription wherein information from your DNA is passed down to a messenger RNA, which goes out, because the DNA cannot go out of the cell, goes out of the nucleus, I mean, and into the cytoplasm, where it connects and is translated to make to connect with amino acids, and from that amino acid it forms proteins. So this is the molecule of life, DNA, transcribed to RNA inside of the nucleus, which goes out and is translated, and amino acid is added here to make proteins. And that is the molecule or the dogma of life. That is how DNA and how proteins are manufactured. So maybe we can look at this video to understand more the dogma of life.
Here is a cell, the basic unit of all living tissue. In most human cells, there is a structure called the nucleus. The nucleus contains the genome. In humans, the genome is split between 23 pairs of chromosomes. Each chromosome contains a long strand of DNA, tightly packaged around proteins called histones. Within the DNA are sections called genes. These genes contain the instructions for making proteins. When a gene is switched on, an enzyme called RNA polymerase attaches to the start of the gene. It moves along the DNA, making a strand of messenger RNA out of free bases in the nucleus. The DNA code determines the order in which the free bases are added to the messenger RNA. This process is called transcription. Before the messenger RNA can be used as a template for the production of proteins, it needs to be processed. This involves removing and adding sections of RNA. The messenger RNA then moves out of the nucleus into the cytoplasm. Protein factories in the cytoplasm, called ribosomes, bind to the messenger RNA. The ribosome reads the code in the messenger RNA to produce a chain made up of amino acids. There are 20 different types of amino acid. Transfer RNA molecules carry the amino acids to the ribosome. The messenger RNA is read 3 bases at a time. As each triplet is read, a transfer RNA delivers the corresponding amino acid. This is added to a growing chain of amino acids. Once the last amino acid has been added, the chain folds into a complex 3D shape to form the protein.
Doc Ardy?
Yes, Dr. Mario has clearly explained to us the importance of the DNA. And if I may briefly review it a little bit, when you look at the one-page presentation, and for the benefit of everyone, especially the new ones, we show how the body is structured. We know that inside our body are many organs, and our life depends upon the life of the weakest organ. So one strategy on health is to ensure that all of our organs are supported. Now, like what Dr. Mario has emphasized, in each organ are tissue and cells. They have specific names. But when we look into the cell and look into the nucleus, all the description is the same. We cannot differentiate them already from another. So we now see the chromosome. Inside the chromosome are the array of DNA. And inside the DNA are the nucleotides. Therefore, this is now the molecular foundation of our life. The focus is now at this level, that you and I have DNA. And to make the DNA effective in its work, the DNA has to have the nucleotides. And the good news is that Imorigen has the nucleotides. So we now answer the question, What's so special about Imorigen? The answer is nucleotide. How does it differentiate from other food supplements? The answer is nucleotide. How will I know? All you need to do is to read the ingredients of any food supplements that you now have in your possession and check if it has nucleotides. If none, then there is none. But in Imorigen, it has nucleotides and it will not support the DNA function. So that's the reason why I am taking Imorigen. And now, we now have in this particular slide what we call that the DNA is involved in epigenetic expression. And as we go along, we will show that what we have inherited from the chromosomes from our parents, inside the chromosome are the DNA. Now the DNA will bring into our life specific manifestation. We call this epigenetics. And if you will read the slide, the theory is that what our parents and grandparents ate, how much exercise they did, and what chemicals they were exposed to are all factors that could affect how our bodies look and work. In other words, we inherited something from our parents and ancestors. We inherited everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And the bad is that we also inherited specific diseases like cancer, diabetes, let's say, heredofamilial diseases. So we will now try to explore this a little bit and try to see how, let's say, dietary nucleotide supplementation can come in. And for more details, there are two keywords that I would like you to, let's say, understand. It's easy, don't worry. Though we have this detailed tabulation, but the genotype is what we inherited. So notice the keyword is gene, genotype. The phenotype is the manifestation or expression of what we have inherited. And the good news is that the expression can be modified either for the better or for the worse. Therefore, Dr. Oclarit, in one of his lectures, he said, through epigenetic medicine, we are able to get out or possibly get out of the tyranny, quote and unquote, of the DNA, let's say, fixture. Because generally speaking, what you've inherited, you cannot change it. But the expression of what we inherited can be modified. So the tabulation has shown that. We'll not go into detail. Next slide, please, Sir Francis. Now, this is very important, and I would like to suggest you take a screenshot. So there is what you call epigenetic modulation. The expression can be modulated. And you can see the different factors. And above, number one is diet. What you eat will modify the expression of what we inherited from the DNA or from the chromosome. That's why if you eat correctly, you will have a healthier life. If you eat wrongly, you might have a poor life. That's why me, for example, I would take the ideal diet like being a vegetarian. I'm a vegetarian, by the way. And because eating more fruits and vegetables can bring out the best that is stored in the DNA. But if I will eat a high-fat diet and let's say high-salt diet and all the preservatives that are usually added, then the expression of the DNA may be affected. It may lead to, let's say, the manifestation of hereditary diseases. But it's not only diet, even the state of mind. If we think positively, we'll be more healthy. If we dwell on worry, we would be more sick. And how we interact with others, social interactions. That's why we usually say you are the average of the 5 closest people into your life because we influence one another. And alternative medicine, that's why conventional medicine, alternative medicine, they are finding ways to improve our life. And then when we, let's say, take drugs, it will affect. And then the recent area of research now is on microbiome, and Dr. Maria and I gave some lectures in the past on this area. By the way, if you are already a member of Forever Healthy LLC, you take time to go into the backup office and watch the videos that Dr. Mario and I had given. It was uploaded to learn more. And one of them, take note, is microbiome, because dietary nucleotide has now shown in recent research that it can influence healthy microbiome. And the microbiome, area affects almost everything in the body, especially in the area of immunity. And then exercise, when we do exercise, we improve circulation. And when we improve circulation, it supports cellular function. And then even, our financial status can affect our life. Drug abuse, toxic chemicals like cigarette smoke, or pollution from factories and from vehicles. And then even disease exposure, when we're exposed to virus. And the one that we're so concerned now is the new virus that has been identified in Africa. If I can remember right, Omicron, right? And then even the environment. So notice, diet, environment, psychological state of mind, and our lifestyle will affect the expression of what we have inherited. So one way to improve the expression of what we inherited as the genes from our parents is to ensure that we supply a diet that is rich in nucleotides, because the simple connection is that the DNA, which is the power in the body, needs nucleotide. If there is lack of nucleotide, the DNA becomes unstable. And when the DNA becomes unstable, that will already affect many things in our life. That's why our goal as we go along with Dr. Mario is to promote DNA health. Second is to promote DNA stability. And third is to promote or support DNA repair. And dietary nucleotides and amino acids and peptides, these dietary ingredients, has a very important and role in this area. Next slide, please, Francis.
Okay, the next slide would be a video. Let's watch this short video that would tell us exactly how the body repairs itself.
The DNA in just one of your cells gets damaged tens of thousands of times per day. Multiply that by your body's 100 trillion or so cells, and you've got a quintillion DNA errors every day. And because DNA provides the blueprint for the proteins your cells need to function, damage causes serious problems, such as cancer. The errors come in different forms. Sometimes nucleotides, DNA's building blocks, get damaged. Other times nucleotides get matched up incorrectly, causing mutations. And nicks in one or both strands can interfere with DNA replication, or even cause sections of DNA to get mixed up. Fortunately, your cells have ways of fixing most of these problems, most of the time. These repair pathways all rely on specialized enzymes. Different ones respond to different types of damage. One common error is base mismatches. Each nucleotide contains a base, and during DNA replication, the enzyme DNA polymerase is supposed to bring in the right partner to pair with every base on each template strand, adenine with thymine and guanine with cytosine. But about once every 100,000 additions, it makes a mistake. The enzyme catches most of these right away and cuts off a few nucleotides and replaces them with the correct ones. And just in case it missed a few, a second set of proteins comes behind it to check. If they find a mismatch, they cut out the incorrect nucleotide and replace it. This is called mismatch repair. Together, these two systems reduce the number of base mismatch errors to about 1 in 1 billion. But DNA can get damaged after replication too. Lots of different molecules can cause chemical changes to nucleotides. Some of these come from environmental exposure, like certain compounds in tobacco smoke. but others are molecules that are found in cells naturally, like hydrogen peroxide. Certain chemical changes are so common that they have specific enzymes assigned to reverse the damage. But the cell also has more general repair pathways. If just one base is damaged, it can usually be fixed by a process called base excision repair. One enzyme snips out the damaged base, and other enzymes come in to trim around the site and replace the nucleotides. UV light can cause damage that's a little harder to fix. Sometimes it causes two adjacent nucleotides to stick together, distorting the DNA's double helix shape. Damage like this requires a more complex process called nucleotide excision repair. A team of proteins removes a long strand of 24 or so nucleotides and replaces them with fresh ones. Very high-frequency radiation, like gamma rays and X-rays, cause a different kind of damage. They can actually sever one or both strands of the DNA backbone. Double-strand breaks are the most dangerous. Even one can cause cell death. The two most common pathways for repairing double-strand breaks are called homologous recombination and non-homologous end joining. Homologous recombination uses an undamaged section of similar DNA as a template. Enzymes interlace the damaged and undamaged strands, get them to exchange sequences of nucleotides, and finally fill in the missing gaps to end up with two complete double-stranded segments. Non-homologous end joining, on the other hand, doesn't rely on a template. Instead, a series of proteins trims off a few nucleotides and then fuses the broken ends back together. This process isn't as accurate. It can cause genes to get mixed up or moved around, but it's useful when sister DNA isn't available. Of course, changes to DNA aren't always bad. Beneficial mutations can allow a species to evolve, but most of the time, we want DNA to stay the same. Defects in DNA repair are associated with premature aging and many kinds of cancer. So if you're looking for a fountain of youth, it's already operating in your cells, billions and billions of times a day.
Yes, Francis and Dr. Mario and I would like to congratulate all of the participants now in the Zoom. There are about 45 of them. We practically represent Asia because every Tuesday morning, 11 o'clock in the morning, we include all participants worldwide, especially in America. But every Saturday at 3 o'clock Manila time, we are the ones, the pioneers. And I would like to emphasize that Dr. Mario has reviewed the evolution of food supplements. The DNA, let's say, health is now a new niche. And then specifically within this market niche, nucleotide supplementation is another segment. And if you will take note, it seems that Forever Healthy LNC is now in this area where it's new and we are among the first. In fact, the trend now on DNA health is that health screenings are now being researched upon so that one can, let's say, give some cells from the buccal mucosa through a swab and then send it to a research institute. And they can map out they can give hundreds of reports on the risk factors that can affect our life and health based on the DNA data. So that's now the trend. Now that's one aspect, but the most important aspect, even though we didn't have any DNA health screening, the bottom line is still DNA. We should promote DNA stability, DNA health, and DNA repair. And you just saw the video. So we have to pat ourselves in the shoulder because we are in the forefront of this new area of health. And we now have the slide here. Dr. Mario has mentioned the central dogma of life. That is a very complex procedure. When Dr. Oclarit gave a lecture, most of us did not understand it except Dr. Mario and I. But the bottom line, about 11 or 12 complex steps can be emphasized in 3 major steps. Number 1 is DNA replication. That's where it starts. And then when the DNA replicates through transcription, the RNA is created. And then the RNA, as has been mentioned a while ago, goes out of the nucleus of every cell. And in the cytoplasm of the cell, it is translated into the corresponding protein with the presence of the 20 amino acids. So that's the central dogma. And the proteins is almost everything. And the series of amino acids, and finally, the configuration to make it functional is the central dogma of life. Now, when you look at the right side of the slide, obviously, we have listed down ingredients that apparently will directly or indirectly support the central dogma. So, for example, the ingredient complex dietary nucleotides, will this help the central dogma? The answer is obviously yes, because the DNA is composed of nucleotides. The RNA is composed of nucleotides. What if there is lack of nucleotide? Therefore, the central dogma of life cannot be as effective as it should be. And then the next important point is that the amino acids is needed to create the protein. The amino acid is the building block of protein. And even though we have a perfect DNA, even though we have a perfect RNA, but if there is no 20 amino acids, which is the alphabet, the protein cannot be created. Therefore, it's essential that amino acids be present. Therefore, look for a food supplement that has the complex dietary nucleotides and the amino acids. And then, if you have a food supplement that has the peptides and oligopeptides and minerals, and especially when combined with the trace minerals, 72 trace minerals of fulvic acid, wow, you have a powerful mix of dietary ingredients. So look for a food supplement that has all of this, and this is the foundation of any food supplement that one should take. If one will be taking food supplements, you start with the foundation. And the foundation is dietary nucleotides, amino acids, and peptides. And then you may add the other food supplements as you desire, like the antioxidants, the stem cell enhancement, the vitamins, the minerals, the botanicals. You may add them because all of them are under the dictation of the DNA through the central dogma. That is the very important point that we should learn at this point. That's why be proud that you represent one of the best, if not the best, supplementation formula in the world based on research. And be confident that when you are taking Imorigen, even though we may not fully understand all the details, we know that it's working in the body through the DNA. And through homeostasis, it will promote body immunity. It will give us ATP, natural energy. It will regenerate every cell of the body. And eventually, that will regenerate and support all organs of the body. Francis?
We focus now on the ingredients of Immunogen.
This is the analytical data. This was shared to us by the 2 scientists who came to the Philippines who authored some recent journals on dietary nucleotides. So they gave us this data. And you will notice these are analytical data on nucleotides, minerals, and vitamins. So this is under the category of complex dietary nucleotides, but it's really in detail. Next slide, Francis. Oh, look at, please put it back. Look at the upper left, nucleotides. Notice you have cytidine, inosine, guanosine, uridine, adenosine, right? These are the nitrogen bases or nucleotide nitrogen bases. And you can see the corresponding percentage. And if you will check, if I will ask you, what is the highest, let's say, nitrogen base? It is the adenosine. Notice it's 1.6. And then it's 1.6 microgram. And adenosine is the precursor in adenosine triphosphate, which is the electrical, biochemical, natural energy currency of the body. That's why one of the major benefits of, let's say, nucleotide supplementation is the support of natural body energy. And energy is needed to maintain health. Energy is needed to recover from any health challenge. Energy is needed to be able to do our work. Energy is needed to have a long life. You get it? That alone is already a big why you should be taking dietary nucleotides. But apparently, it's not only energy. It has almost everything in the central dogma of life. Okay, next slide, please, Francis. And then in this next slide, it has listed the 20 amino acids with their corresponding percentages. So analytical data of the amino acids. And I gave a lecture on this. This is one of the recent lectures I gave. You can check it out in the backup office and watch it. It's a 20-minute discussion. But that will clearly show you the importance, the vital importance of amino acids. So going back to food supplementation, all you need to do is to look at the food supplements that you now have with you. You check, does it have amino acids? Almost none. And some may have one. And commonly, it's lysine. But you need 20 amino acids because the 20 amino acids are like the alphabet of a keyboard, right? In your computer keyboard, there are 26 characters, right? So when you type words, sentences, you need all the characters or the letters, right? You won't buy any laptop where certain letters are not available or not working. All 26 should be working. The same thing with the body. The alphabet of protein is 20 amino acids. And Imogen, as described in this analysis, says it. Now, this is the US label, which is more detailed because label requirements per country vary. In the Philippines and in Europe, we simply labeled it as complex dietary nucleotides and amino acids. That's it. But in the US label, they require that we list down specifically all the nitrogen bases, which is 5, to include the RNA, and then uracil, and then the 20 amino acids, and including the corresponding percentage. If you have a lens with you and you have this label, you can take a look. So notice this is the approved label in America. And there are many benefits, but notice the headline: Imorigen, immune system booster. That alone is already one big reason why you should be taking dietary nucleotides with the corresponding amino acids. Why? Because the immune system is so important these days to fight any health-threatening condition. Because the immune system is our first line of defense to anything that will attack the body, anything that will harm the cells of the body. We have two aspects: innate immunity, which is immediate within 3 to 7 hours. And then we have the innate immunity, and then you have now the adaptive immunity, which is developed after 3 days, which is specifically defending the body against specific intruders, whether there are viruses, bacteria, fungal, protozoal, anything. That's how the body protects itself. And that is the immune system. And notice in the US label, they permitted, when this was registered in America, as immune system booster. Okay, Francis, next slide, please.
Okay, the next slides would focus on third-party clinical studies.
So probably if Dr. Mario is around, he can give some quick discussion in this area. Dr. Mario? If Dr. Mario is not yet ready, this is one article. By the way, this is, as what Francis mentioned, a third-party research. They are not.
Okay, I can do it.
Okay, Dr. Mario.
Yeah. Forgive the background noise. This is one of the articles that actually came out and written by Dr. Clara Kubikova and Alice Marcella, who came over in Manila to discuss and talk about Immunogen and their researches. They are a third-party researcher. They're not connected with Unirogen or with Forever Healthy. So they gave a short review article on the short history of Immunogen. And next slide, Francis. They summarize that Immunogen is a unique dietary supplement that was developed by a leading Czechoslovakian immunologist and initially distributed in Czechoslovakia. So the reason it first came out in the 1950s, and during the time Czechoslovakia was a communist country, and they did not share the information that they knew with the Western world. And they found out early on that Immunogen boosted a lot of immunologic functions and other health benefits. Through decades of research and clinical exposure, they created actually, it was created actually from natural ingredients that supports cellular immunity, energy, tissue regeneration, wound healing, endocrine gland repair, intestinal integrity, memory enhancement, anti-tumor effects, and most importantly, as we, Dr. Arlie and I love, sexual function. Next slide, Francis. So another article by one of the researchers, Dr. Peter Sima and Joseph Richter, had said that the ileal epithelial growth is stimulated by extracts of dietary nucleotides. So in this research, they showed that the ileal mucosa, or the ileum, which is in your small intestines, are stimulated to reproduce, to make more new ileal cells. And what they did was they gave a supplement, and this is basically what they showed. In the left upper, as you can see, it's a control group, and you can see the enterocytes, the intestinal villi, and compare that to the experimental group, which were fed dietary nucleotides, and they used Immunogen in this research itself. And you can see at higher dose, the one in the lower right, you can see that the ileal mucosa has the intestinal villi had doubled in size and increased the capacity to increase its function of basically increasing absorption of your nutrients, providing good gut bacteria and good gut health. And these standard researches showed, compared to the standard diet without the supplements of dietary nucleotide, you can see that the drinking dietary nucleotides or Immunogen supplemented water has a higher gut health, higher intestinal villi, bigger function of the intestinal villi compared to those who are not giving dietary nucleotides. And from this experiment, you can see that how it would benefit our Immunogen or dietary nucleotides would benefit gut health. And we have discussed, Dr. Arlie and I have discussed, and you can go on our website and look at the back office, and you will see the lectures, our lectures on gut health. Next slide, Francis. So another study is the nucleotide that this is from the National Institute of Health, and that says the nucleotide deficiency promotes genomic instability in early stages of cancer development. So let's break down the, go back, Francis. Let's break down the title itself first. So nucleotide deficiency, that means basically lack of nucleotides. Genomic promotes genomic instability. This is basically gene or instability of your DNA, which progress to early stages of cancer. So any instability of your DNA can become cancerous in the future. So let's see the conclusion. Next slide. The chromosomal instability in early stages is caused by stresses on DNA replication. If the DNA is not replicated well, then there is chromosomal instability. There is because of chromosomal instability, then cancer will develop. Basically, that's the reason why we develop cancer, because of factors which regulate cell proliferation are insufficient. Because of the insufficiency of dietary nucleotide, cell regulation is insufficient. We develop poor cells, okay, not well-developed cells, not normal cells, but cancerous cells, which could lead to instability in your gene. Next slide, Francis. So here is the article that we were talking about, the gut microbiota, the alteration by the product Emergen. This was again written by Dr. Clara Covilcova and Alice Marcella, who had visited us here in the Philippines a few years back. The conclusion from the study says that, next slide please. The gut microbiota is one of the more important modulators influencing host development, and I have shown from the lecture that your small gut can influence your big gut, your small gut, which is known as your small brain, can influence your big brain. So any dysbiosis or dysfunction in the small gut can lead to problems in the homeostasis in the brain particularly, and when that happens, you can have problems with depression, dementia, and other neurologic problems. This can all lead to problems. All stems from the problems of your intestinal gut. Next slide, Francis. Another study is, here is about Emergen. Maybe Doc Arlie can take over while I transfer to
Yes, Dr. Mario, and Dr. Mario has given presentation on the researches that has been done. Third-party research, they are not in any way connected with Forever Healthy LLC and Unirigen, the manufacturer. We just featured them for educational purposes. It is now up to you to find its relevance into your life. That's why they can practically say anything. And at this point, I will also would like to emphasize, when you compare food supplements with other food supplements, one of the basis of a comparison is research studies, clinical studies, or in vivo studies, or let's say laboratory studies, where the product itself, the food supplement, has been featured. Because most research studies on food supplements is on the generic ingredients. On the generic, there are a lot of studies, but the higher, let's say, point of comparison is if the product itself, as formulated, is the one that was featured in the research studies. And Dr. Mario has effectively shown that generally it's dietary nucleotides, and specifically it is a Emorigen. And Emorigen, in one of the studies, said it's an original tissue extract. So that's what makes Emorigen different from others. And that's also one good reason why I am taking my Emorigen. First, I am after the ingredients that will support my DNA. Second, it's based on basic science. Third, the formula itself has been let's say, documented in peer-reviewed research studies. Okay, so basically the health benefits of Imorigen is focused on the DNA and RNA because the ingredients like dietary nucleotides are specifically incorporated into the structure of the DNA and RNA. So you may read all of those benefits. It's basically DNA. So if I will simply rephrase all of these benefits in few keywords, the formula of Imorigen will support DNA health. That's number one. Number two, it will support DNA stability. And Dr. Mario has shown one research study. And number three, it will support DNA repair. So I will repeat, DNA health, DNA stability, DNA repair. That is already everything because DNA is already everything. This is the molecular foundation of our life. So this is the reason why I am taking my Imorigen. Now, if you will look at the Imorigen preparations, there are several of them. All of them has the logo Imorigen. That's the logo. And when you see the logo Imorigen, it basically has the same ingredients as depicted in the logo. And one of the Imorigen preparation is the Imorigen liquid. So notice it has the logo Imorigen, that is for immunity and regeneration. This is the Imorigen preparation that has the highest dose of Imorigen. It is 1.5 ml per 5 ml, 5 ml serving because one serving is 5 ml or 1 teaspoon. Okay, so 1.5 ml Imorigen. So if there is one Imorigen product that has to be available to every household, this is the one because it has the highest level. Number two, it's in liquid form. It's easily absorbed. So I take this 5 ml before I sleep at night because when we are asleep, it's the time when the body repairs itself. Okay, the next one is Imorigen capsule, Francis. So one bottle has 90 capsules. You take one capsule 3 times a day before meals, 15 minutes before meals. And it has 0.5 milligrams per capsule. So if you would like to compare it with the liquid, you have to take 3 of these to make it 1.5 milligrams, right? So this is before taking food 3 times a day. So that's the Imorigen capsule. Next slide, please, Francis. And then we now have the Imorigen capsule and glucan capsule. One bottle has 60 capsules, and we take 1 capsule 2 times a day. This will support and modulate the immune system of the body. Imorigen already promotes immunity. Glucan is a very, let's say, well-researched food ingredient that will modulate the immune system. So when you combine the Imorigen and glucan, it potentiates or makes the immunity more powerful. So anybody who needs more immune support to fight the virus, to fight the bacteria, to fight the protozoan, fungal, to fight the abnormal cells of the body, to defend itself, this is one of the best food supplementation available. And it has 0.3 milligrams Imorigen. And I think, if I read the label right, 50 milligrams glucan. Next slide, please, Francis. And then the favorite of many, especially in sports and in athletes, like in cycling, in marathon, swimming, in basketball, or anybody who needs energy in their work, like doctors, soldiers, those in call centers, graveyard shift. This is their favorite. Those reviewing for the boards, students, practically almost everyone, because Imorigen, as registered in Europe and in the Philippines, can be given starting at age 1. So it's given from infancy to advanced age. In America, the permission was at age 4 and above. So per country may have their specific requirements. And there are 5 flavors. You have the cola flavor, that is recent. You have the raspberry, the tropical, the tea. But all of them has the Imorigen, and this one has 0.18 milligrams Imorigen per effervescent tablet. This has 20 effervescent tablets. You put 1 tablet into 250 to 500 ml water, and you can see the effervescence bubbles. Let it disappear and take it. Me, I take this first thing in the morning. When I do so, first thing in the morning, immediately when I wake up before breakfast, I notice that my energy is so well supported throughout the day. And if I feel I need more energy, I'll take another one mid-afternoon. And I have energy even throughout the night, especially if I will be doing some late night activity. So next slide, please, Francis. And the last one is fulvic minerals. This is the only one that does not contain Imorigen. But it is so important because what we're after here is the 72 trace minerals, which will enhance the cell-to-cell communication. Because the DNA has the code. When the central dogma starts to move, communication is so important. And this is where the 72 trace minerals come in. Number 2, the fulvic acid that's part of this formula is so small that they can easily enter the cells of the body, and they can carry with them molecules about 10 times their weight. So they can serve as messengers or carriers. So they can easily enter the cell and bring in the necessary ingredients. And at the same time, inside the cell, they can absorb the or bring with them the waste products of the cells out of the cell. That's why others also consider fulvic acid as a way of chelating, as a way of cleansing the cells of the body. So 2 major benefits: cell-to-cell communication through the 72 trace minerals that will enhance the communication of about 1 to 3 trillion cells of the body. And each cell, as we have just emphasized, has a nucleus. Inside the nucleus is the chromosome. Inside the chromosome are the DNA and nucleotide. So we take this at 1 ml, and it has like a medicine dropper. You can get it by drops to let's say every water that you take. But take 1 ml of this 3 times a day. So that's like 3 glasses of water throughout the day. Okay, next slide, please, Francis.
Okay, the next slide would be a video. This would summarize what has been discussed by our doctors. Let's watch this video.
The simplest way to explain our product is by explaining why you should take it and how it works. Our body is affected by numerous factors, both external and internal. External factors include the environment, pollution, the weather, ultraviolet rays, and other factors. Internal factors include the food we eat and drink, nutrition, and stress. These are part of our everyday lives and are often overlooked. Other internal factors would be what we inherited from our parents and other genetic factors. These predispositions can have an effect on our health or the strength of the body at the DNA level. All of these factors largely contribute to our lack of overall wellness and health. Forever Healthy Products brings to you Imurigen, a complex of dietary nucleotides containing peptides, oligopeptides, proteins, minerals, and vitamins that support normal body functions and help boost our immune system. For our body to be healthy, we need to make sure our organs, like the heart, the brain, the kidneys, and every other organ in our body, is healthy. Our organs are made of tissue, and our tissue is made up of countless cells. This is where most of the industry is currently focused on the cellular level. We at Forever Healthy Products go even deeper and are revolutionizing how we shape our lives by going deeper to the DNA level. DNA is essentially the blueprint of life. DNA is composed of a chain of nucleotides, guanine, cytosine, thymine, and adenine, to maintain the homeostasis or normal body functions. By ensuring we have healthy DNA, we ensure healthy cells that make healthy tissue, which become healthy organs, and finally ensuring a healthy body, affording us a fulfilled and happy life. Immurogen supports the body's structure and functions by providing the nutrients needed for a healthy body. Forever Healthy Products has the exclusive rights to offer this one-of-a-kind nucleotide food supplement around the world. The product has been researched and studied for decades and proven safe for the young, the elderly, and even the sportsman or athlete. This is just the tip of the iceberg on how this incredible product can give you an incredible life. To know even more, visit us at www.foreverhealthyproducts.com and take the first step in enriching all facets of your life.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. Why you should take it? Again, Immunogen is backed by science since the 1950s and works at the DNA level. The recipe of Immunogen, which are the nucleotides, building blocks of the building blocks of DNA, peptides, oligopeptides, essential amino acids, minerals, supports the dogma of life. Again, this is the process how the body regenerates and repairs itself. Our products perfectly address the health issues we are confronted today. And these are natural products that help the body bring back to homeostasis, meaning balance, to heal itself naturally. And one thing that you should be considering is prevention is still better than cure, okay? Your investment today versus the cost of hospitalization. Okay, so we need to focus on DNA health and function, DNA stability, and DNA repair. Okay, so our company, we value life at the DNA level. So for those of you who would like to learn more about the products, by the way, and also especially the ongoing promos that we have at the moment, please do get in touch with the person who shared this with you and ask for their website. Okay, you may see us at in Facebook. Please do like us in Facebook. Just look for Forever Healthy Products Inc. Then in YouTube, you can watch the doctor's webinars in our YouTube channel. Look for Forever Healthy Products Inc. And for more resources, go to humandnawellness.com. Okay, so that concludes today's webinar. Maybe we can take some couple of questions from our audience, especially the new ones.
Thank you, Francis. Thank you, Dr. Arlie. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Yeah, maybe we can get a few questions.
Yes, I see a lot from new participants from Singapore. Thank you for joining us today.
Yes, and let me probably summarize by asking myself some questions. What is that Immunogen? Immunogen is for immunity and regeneration. What are the ingredients? Dietary nucleotides, amino acids, peptides, and others. Why should I take it? The ingredients will support the structure and function of the DNA and RNA. And what is important about the DNA, RNA? It is the central dogma of our life. Everything starts at the DNA level, and even would end at the DNA level. Can I take it with medicines? Of course, because it is only food. If you have a medical condition, always follow your doctor. Is it a medicine or a drug? It's not a drug. It is food. If I have any medical condition, should I take it? Of course, you have to take it as food. But for your medical condition, always consult your doctor and follow your doctor. And we simply add this as food because it's not a medicine or a drug. Okay, how long will I take it? I suggest you take it for at least 3 months for it to support the regeneration of the body. Notice there is one journal that was featured, the regeneration of the lower 1/3 of the small intestines, the ileum. That's regeneration. That has been documented. But actually, I would surmise that is the same mechanism in all organs of the body, right? Because all organs of the body is made up of tissue and cell, and each cell is made up of the nucleus, and each nucleus contains the chromosome, and each chromosome has the DNA, the nucleotide. It's the same template. It's the same formula. Okay, so what else?
Okay,
Yes, Francis.
highlighted in the screen, this is just the recommended usage, okay, for those who for maintenance, okay. But if there are medical conditions, what I would suggest is, by the way, we have free consultations in the office here in Manila, and we have it our schedule is every Monday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Thursday, and Friday. I believe in Cebu they also have free consultations. Once a week. But if you are outside of Manila and Cebu, please go back to the person. Please go back to the person who invited you today, and they would know how to contact Doctors Mario and Dr. Arlie. Okay, so this is again just the recommended usage dosage that's found in the label. Okay.
Yes, and everybody can start with any of the products. However, generally, almost everybody starts with the Immune Plus, especially in children. The parent would usually put 1 ibuprofen tablet in 1 pitchel of water, which is about 500 ml, and then give it to the children. But in the labeled dose in Europe and in the Philippines, it can be given at 1 year old above, from infancy, even from birth to advanced age or old age. In America, it is I think at 3 or 4 years old. They are quite conservative when it comes to giving anything to children. So just read the label, and then if you have any question, you just simply show the Imorigen ingredients to our doctors, and for them to know that it's nucleotide, amino acids, and peptides. These are ingredients that will support the central dogma of life. Everybody knows how our body is structured up to the DNA level. What the doctor has to be, let's say, updated with is that there is now a food supplement that contains nucleotides, and most of them are quite surprised because it's only now that it is being promoted, though it was patented in Europe since 1983. That's more than 30 years ago. Forever Healthy was able to get the exclusive global marketing rights. So we opened the Philippines, we opened Singapore. That's basically the center point for Asia, and then we opened America. And I think in the first quarter of 2022, we will now open the 27 countries in Europe. That's why the best is yet to come, Francis.
Okay, Doc Mario, would you like to answer some of the questions here?
Yeah.
Maybe you can start with Nimpa.
Yeah, my first case again for Imurigen was a case of cerebral palsy. And depending on the type, because the patient had spastic cerebral palsy, the therapist was having difficulty in trying to do rehab on that patient. And when I started the patient on Imurigen, the spasm was less, and rehab was finally doing better.
The other one is high blood pressure and fertility issues. Doc, Mario?
Yeah.